Hey guys, how's it going? It's Molly. Today I'm going to be doing 3 looks, 1 palette review and swatches of the Cosmic Brushes Undergrowth palette. This released, I believe it was earlier in October. Here is what the inside of the palette looks like. And yeah, I meant to get this video up earlier, totally forgot that I was going to do it. That is neither here nor there. Better late than never. Better late than never. So when I do these videos, I like to try to challenge myself to use some shades that I'm maybe a little hesitant about. Every palette, most palettes, seem to have at least one shade in them that make me think, I don't know how much I'm going to use that. So for this palette, that's definitely the shade here, the shade Herbarium, and then the shade Vegetation. Whatever reason, those two, I'm like, I don't know. But especially this matte light green. Also, I forgot to mention, for the first 2 looks, I'm going to be doing 1 on each eye, so I don't have to wash my face as much in one day, and it'll save time. So let's go ahead and get started. This first look is going to be the more challenging one for me. So I'm going to use Algae as my transition shade. That's easy, no big deal. Fern as my outer V. I'm going to highlight the inner corner with this guy and then put this on my lid. So nothing... like the formula of the looks that I do is generally the same. I hope that it's not boring. I don't know. I guess I don't normally put a matte on my lid or on my inner corner. Usually I use a shimmer. So let's just see how this goes. I just washed this with some brush cleaner and it is very, very smelly. Okay, so deepening things up with Fern. Tapping off the excess because I am trying to prevent as much fallout as possible. Then I always blow this up into the crease. You could totally, I should have one of the, okay, sorry. I'm like getting ahead of myself and thinking about what I should do for my next look. And I'm wanting to like combine the oranges and the greens. I don't know. We'll see. It might look terrible or it might look really great. Okay. And then we're going to take Vegetation. Oh, I forgot. I need glitter primer. I always use glitter primer. I don't know. I don't really know how these shadows perform without it. So I guess that's a disclaimer. Take this review with a grain of salt because I haven't tried it without glitter primer. But anyway, I'm going to pop this all over my lid. It's just a really like pretty sort of seafoam green shade. And then Herbarium, that light, actually that's more seafoam, that light green. I'm gonna pop this on the inner corner and blow it up. Okay. Lower lash line, let's go ahead. I don't know, do we want to do something? I don't know how I like that. I see other people highlight their inner corners with matte shadows and it looks great. Not so much on yours truly. I guess I'm just gonna keep it basic. We're gonna put Fern as my lower lash line shade. Okay, let's add mascara. For the next look, I'm gonna take Algae in my crease partway and then clay on the outer portion of my crease. We're gonna start with that and see what happens. This may be a complete disaster, so bear with me. Then I'm also gonna take Algae a little bit on my lid, which probably doesn't matter because I am going to clean it up. What? I'm gonna cover it up. Good Lord. Sorry, I got distracted because my brush is still like wet, which is very annoying. Okay, Now into clay. We're overlapping a little bit, taking clay on the lower lid, not lower lid, the outer lid. Glitter glue. And then I'm gonna take Fireflies. It's a multi-chrome, gorgeous shimmer. I think there are 2 multi-chromes in this palette. This is one of them. And we're gonna pop this on the lid. And I feel like, honestly, these 3 shades complement each other quite a bit. And I always try to pat some of the lid shade up onto my crease. So that way it just helps with that transition a little bit more. Okay, I feel like I lost some of algae. So I'm gonna add a little bit back. And then I'm gonna do the same with clay. And then for the lower lash line, I'm gonna take Sludge right here. It's just such a beautiful shade. I absolutely love it. Whoop, almost went to the wrong eye. Okay, and there is look number 2. I think of these 2, oh man, I don't know. I initially was thinking I like this one better. I think this one's probably a little bit more like wearable. I don't know. But this one's just kind of fun. It's more, it's outside of my, they're both outside of my comfort zone. Let's be real. I've been like very comfortable with neutrals, which these are neutrals, but these are like neutrals with a twist, you know? So yeah. All right, I'm gonna wash this off and I will be back for look number 3 and then to tell you guys my thoughts on the palette. All right, let's jump into the third look. For this one, I'm wanting more of a wearable sort of look. I don't know. So I'm gonna go in with Marsh as my transition shade, and I'm gonna deepen things up a bit with Sludge, as well as Bark as sort of like smudged along my lash line as a liner. And then I'm gonna take Fungi on my lid. So let's give it a whirl. Marsh. Now, can I remember what I just said? That's the question. My neighbor's dog is out there barking, so if you guys hear a dog barking, it's just Bowie the Wheaton being a sweet little boy. I don't know what I was gonna say. Being a Wheaton, I have no, like that's what I was going to say. I have no idea. Do Wheatons bark? I don't know, but Bowie does. He's sweet. He really is. He's a funny dog. Okay. So then again, Sludge, outer V. Okay, so that's those 2 shades. As you can see, I blended it, really like took it onto my lid, blended it up, left the inner portion of my crease open. Well, not open, but just with Marsh. Now I'm gonna take Bark. It's that super deep, almost black shade. I'm just taking it on like a flat sort of paddle brush. And I'm gonna concentrate this along my lash line. And then we're gonna do Fungi here for the lid shade. But first, I almost forgot again to do glitter primer. I'm gonna try to not put it on that Bark shade. I'm gonna use the shade Nettle for my lower lash line here. It's sort of an army green brown. I feel like it'll tie in pretty well. First I need to clean off my brush. That's way greener than I thought it was going to be. All right, let's finish up with some mascara and then we'll talk about the palette. All right, so that is look number 3. Let's go ahead and jump into the review portion. If we were doing like a 5-star rating for this palette, I'd give it 5 stars. Now, in general, I'm fairly generous with my reviews. Like it takes a lot for me to be displeased by a makeup product. I'm not super picky. That being said, I find this palette to be very user-friendly. The mattes blend out beautifully. The shimmers are gorgeous. I love that we have 2 multi-chromes. I've used most of the shades on my eyes. Like I said earlier, I have not used any of them without a glitter glue, but that's just because I use glitter glue for every shimmer all the time. I don't have time to mess around. So I'm like, I know this works. I'm just going to do it. The color story I think is fantastic. It's a really fabulous like fall color story. And I like that a lot. I like sort of the swampy greens and, you know, there's some grunginess to it. And then there's also just more playful sort of like orange and yellow. And it's really great. I'm not a huge fan of bright colors on my eyes, and these are nicely subdued and they're flattering. Even if you're not super comfortable playing with color, like these are the types of colors that I think most people can get away with wearing. Even that shade that I did, the second look that I did, where I was combining algae and clay, I went into that like there's no way this is gonna look good. Like I was literally trying to come up with something that would look atrocious. Maybe not trying to, but I did not have a lot of hope for that look. And yet it pulled it all together. Like it truly, and I don't think it's me. I think it's this. I think that the formula it's fantastic. They blend out so good. There's no patchiness, no skipping. They wear really well. I saw something recently where somebody was complaining about Cosmic Brush's formula and how like the swatches are deceiving because it doesn't actually look like that. I don't know what they're talking about. My cat just came upstairs and is crying and I don't know why. She has food, she has water, she has a clean litter box. Maybe she just wants love. Anyway, I digress. I don't know what that person was talking about. Maybe they got a bad palette. Maybe they got confused and thought, I have no idea. And I'm not going to say anything more. But my point is, I have never had a problem with Cosmic Brush's formula. It's always been fantastic. Their price point is marvelous. I think this was $39. Dude, how many indie brand, like if this was an Unearthly Cosmetics palette, it would be $120, I bet. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that they keep their prices reasonable so that consumers can buy them. And I thoroughly appreciate that. And you're not skipping on quality. These are actually better quality than some of the higher like price point eyeshadows that I have. So I will get excited time and time again when I almost said Unearthly, not when Unearthly, when Cosmic Brushes releases a palette. I freaking love it. I just saw recently that they've got these mystery boxes available and I so badly want to get one. We'll see if they're still available in November when my spending money is replenished. I don't know. But anyways, that is completely besides the point. I promised you guys some swatches, so I am going to do that. Now, bear in mind, my hands are dry and I don't know how well we're gonna swatch here, but so we're gonna do top row. Got vegetation, algae, or I don't know what we got. I'm gonna go row by row. So some of the lighter shades I am building up, okay? Because I don't expect a light shade to just be boom, pigmented. That just isn't how it works. But the shimmers, you really don't have to build up. Okay, so we've got vegetation here, herbarium, algae, fern, and wilderness. So that is the first row swatched. We've got nettle, undergrowth, murky, swamp, and bark. That is the second row. Can we just appreciate the shift of Undergrowth? Yeah, yes we can. It's so freaking bright. I hope the camera is doing it justice. It probably isn't, because cameras tend not to. All right, third row, we've got Boggy, Roots, Marsh. Am I lined up right? Yep. Lichen and Fireflies. Fireflies is the other multi-chrome, and the shade I used on my lid. It shifts from like yellow to green to blue. Maybe a little bit of purple, I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell with multi-chromes. Okay, and then the last row here, we've got Clay, Fungi, Reeds. Reeds is like the bone shade. Cordyceps? No, I don't even know what that is. And Sludge. So, yeah, you guys, they're just, it's great. It's great. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I love it. It's a color story that really pulled at me, and I just had to have it. Could I have possibly, like, I could have duped the vibes for sure, but nah, I needed it in my life. So that's it. That's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, give me a thumbs up, subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.